Local 3 Sports with Jake Duran.
1 in a million. That's how one former high school cross-country coach described Emily Paupore during her time as a standout runner for the Negaunee Miners. Paupore rewrote the record books during her time at Negaunee High School, graduating as one of the most decorated student athletes to ever wear a Miners uniform. Now, despite her success, Paupore admits it was a challenge living up to lofty expectations, none bigger than the expectations that she put on herself. But thanks to a change in perspective, along with a strong support system, Paupore has gone on to maximize her potential at the collegiate level. I caught up with Paupore this week to talk about her most recent accomplishments, and one thing is clear, she's just getting started.
I think that was like part of the success, was just realizing that like my identity is not in who I am as a runner, but I took a lot of the pressure off myself. And so I think that was what allowed me to make a big jump, is just not taking it so seriously. I think a lot of times high school athletes can put a lot of pressure on themselves. And so in college, like having some more room to just have fun and be a normal college student and just enjoy it.
For former Negaunee standout Emily Paupore, a change in her mindset may have helped shift the arc of her collegiate running career.
Just like having that mindset and taking some of the pressure off has been so helpful. And at the end of the day, like, you're human, and running is important, but it's not everything. And so just remembering that and like having other things to hold on to, and other things that, I don't know, define who you are instead of just like a sport, because it can become really negative if you just have all your focus on one thing. So
through her hard work, Paupore would go on to follow in her mother's footsteps after high school, signing on to run at the next level. While she had options, she ultimately decided on Central Michigan, where she recently wrapped up her redshirt junior season as a member of the Chippewa track and cross-country teams.
This year was really good. It was definitely like a breakout year for me. I've gotten a little bit better every year that I've been here, but this was the biggest jump I made. And so I think like I started out, I'm way more of a cross country runner than a track runner, way more of a distance runner. But I think starting out, that was definitely like my sweet spot. But I feel like I've transitioned more to the track now, and I'm able to run faster on the track. And just like coming out this summer, I had a really good summer of training. And so I was able to like accomplish a lot of things in cross country that I didn't really think I was capable of, like coming in as a freshman, or like when I was in high school. I never thought I'd be in like the position I'm in.
That position is the Central Michigan University Female Athlete of the Year, an achievement that became a reality this past April during the university's end of the year award ceremony.
It was really exciting to be able to be there with my whole team, and just I was super excited about that too. And just it's always fun to like see the highlights from the year, and they put them on the board, and like in all of them I'm just hugging my teammates, and I feel like that's just like such a testament to like how supportive this team is and how wonderful they are.
While she says she's grateful for the recognition, receiving that award isn't her favorite memory from this past season.
My favorite racing moment was definitely winning MAC this year in cross country. I remember like I ran with this group of like 3 the whole time, and then I started to fall off on this hill off the pack, and so we were at like 5K and I was starting to fall off, and I remember my coach just screaming at me like, don't waste the gift that you have, like keep going because you only have a K left. And like it really did encourage me, and so I was able to like catch up, and it was like a total comeback. And so that was like something I'm really proud of, just being able to hang on, and like just winning the MAC meet was so special because it's never been done before by a woman at Central. And so I was really excited to do that and just like have my teammate. That is like one of my favorite moments of college.
Paupore says it wasn't the moment she crossed the finish line that she will remember most, but what transpired afterwards.
It was so cute because like my assistant coaches, one of them trained with me all cross country. And he was like running, and they were like crying, hugging each other, and like just like the support that everyone showed me was so sweet. Or like when I think about that race, I just think about like all the hugs at the end and just how fun it was to like celebrate with my team.
Another moment Paupore says she will always remember proves just how far she's come on her running journey.
I think it was like 2 years ago during track, indoor or outdoor track. I was running a 10K, and I was trying to get a qualifier for like the first round of nationals, and I raced terrible. I had to drop out of the race. I remember I was like running around the track, like crying, telling my parents, I'm not going to make it. It was like so funny looking back at, because I felt just bad because they like flew there and everything. But I remember after that, like me and my teammates were just hanging out. Like I got to like try and throw the javelin. Like we were just like running around the streets of, we were at IU, and it was just like such a good time. And so I think like we should, I don't know. Personally, I just like don't want to define all my like favorite moments by like my biggest accomplishments. Like that was one of my favorite moments of college, and I literally did not finish the race.
After redshirting this year prior to her outdoor season, Paupore says she plans on returning to CMU for a 5th year to handle some unfinished business.
I was a few spots out of like, I think it was 3 spots. I was like 8 seconds out of qualifying for the national meet. I think it was really kind of heartbreaking for me last year because I was so close, like coming down to the K, I was still in it. And so I think that's like a big goal for me next year. I started steeplechasing last year, and so I haven't gotten that much practice at it. This is only my 2nd season doing it. But I really like want to make a run for like the national meet and like actually try and like get a spot, maybe like an All-American spot in the steeple. And so I don't think I'm like there right now, but I think if I give it like another year, I'll be able to develop more and actually have a shot at it.
Paupore will also have an opportunity to step outside of NCAA competition and try her hand at Olympic qualifying. Just last weekend, she traveled to New York City to see how she stacked up with the best of the best.
It was awesome. I've never been to New York, so this was the first for me. It was really cool to be in that atmosphere. There was like a lot of really accomplished runners there, and so just being in a field that was really good was awesome. And so I was nervous, but I think the steeplechase always makes me a little bit nervous because I'm very used to like running now and racing, but when you add the barriers, I'm like not quite used to that yet.
Despite the nerves, Paupore finished with a time she can be proud of.
For the Olympic trials, you have to get the minimum time for the US. And so the minimum time for the US, I think, was 10:12, and I ran 10:10. So I was 2 seconds under it. You also have to be in the top 30 individuals in the US. And so I think I'm like 4 seconds out of being in the top 30 right now. So I'm going to race again in Tennessee in a few weeks to try and better my time a little bit, just to give me more of a shot to make it.
Like any great competitor, Paupore continues to push herself in all aspects of her life, whether academically, athletically, or through everyday challenges. And no matter where her path takes her moving forward, she'll continue carrying with her that same thought process that got her here in the first place.
I always remember this verse when I'm like really nervous before races. It says like I didn't give you a spirit of fear, but one of like self-control and like power. And so I always try and like think about that when I'm racing, just remembering like why I'm doing it. I really never thought I'd be able to run at Olympic trials. It wasn't really on my radar until this year. And so just seeing like the progress that I've made and the growth that I've made is thanks to like so many people who've supported me. And so I'm just really excited to have the opportunity to try and do it. And I'm going to give it my best, but at the end of the day, like I'm fine as long as I gave it my best. I'll be happy with the results.